Dale Earnhardt Jr. would tell a younger self. Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired from the NASCAR Cup Series back at the end of the 2017 season, but his impact on the sport is immeasurable and likely long-lasting, despite his exit in November. After 2 decades in NASCAR, Earnhardt is transitioning to the broadcast booth this season for NBC after a successful racing career, which included being named the most popular driver for 15 consecutive years. But when Jr. sees images of himself as a young kid, whether it's through video clips on Twitter or in Goodyear's new Make-A-Name ads for Sunday's Daytona 500, he wishes he could tell his 10 or 12-year-old self a few things. There are so many things that you worry about as a little kid that aren't important that you think are the most important things at the time, Earnhardt recently told For the Win. But they're not. I worried myself ill when I was a little kid. I actually had ulcers as a child because I was so worried about making it in racing or what would I become. Would I succeed or be a bust? So I would definitely try to reassure myself and maybe calm myself a little bit and not be concerned with everything and just enjoy my childhood. I think I worried way too much. The ad nostalgically tells part of the Earnhardt family story, said to the tune of Jim Croce's I Got a Name and covered by his son, A.J. Croce. Earnhardt loves the song and called it a very odd coincidence that Goodyear picked the exact tune that comes to mind when he thinks of his father, the late Dale Earnhardt Sr., and their family's legacy. He said he was really floored when learned what song would accompany the spot. I love the song, and I feel sort of connected to the song through the lyrics, obviously, he said. For it to be used in this commercial years later, telling a little bit of a story about my family, me and my dad, and our connection to racing is pretty neat. Courtesy of Goodyear, a 30-second version of the ad will air on TV for the first time during the Daytona 500, where Earnhardt will serve as the Grand Marshal for NASCAR's biggest race. In addition to wishing he could tell his younger self to enjoy the ride, he said he starts beaming with pride every time he sees old clips of him and his family. Sometimes I think I have to be reminded of all the history that I either have with racing or my father, Earnhardt said. I sometimes get so swept up in the present, or the last few years and my Hendrick, motorsport, years, and I forget about all the things we did in the, number 8, Bud car, in the early 2000s, at, former racing team Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. I forget all the Xfinity Series, races we won before that, and I forget all the street stock, racing. It's great to be reminded about the duration of this whole thing because sometimes it doesn't feel like it's been that long or that heavy. But a lot of pride comes out when I see that visually on screen. More. Watch Shaun White's unbelievable final run to win gold. LeVar Ball's threat has talking heads saying the Lakers might trade Alonzo. Sussex Spaniel pulls off the most adorable trick in the middle of Westminster Dog Show. See 17-year-old Chloe Kim's stunning gold-winning half-pipe runs at the Winter Olympics. Japanese snowboarder Yuto Tatsuka avoids big injury and horrifying crash.